Imagine this. You're not actually you. You're not sitting here watching this video. You're not even in the world you think you know. You're just a brain, floating, in a jar. Sounds like the setup for a wild sci-fi movie, right? But what if it's true? That's the mind-bending concept behind the brain in a vat thought experiment. A simple but profound idea that's been making philosophers and scientists lose sleep for decades. It's strange, it's unsettling, and it's the kind of idea that will make you question everything you thought you knew about reality. So here's the deal. Imagine someone takes your brain out of your body and places it in a jar of life-sustaining liquid. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, who in the world would do that to me? Well, let's focus on the science. This jar is connected to a super powerful computer that sends electrical signals directly to your brain, tricking it into thinking it's experiencing everything you normally would. Your senses, your thoughts, everything you perceive. It's all fake. Your entire reality. Simulated. Now, hold on. Take a deep breath. I know this sounds like some mind-bending science fiction, but here's where it gets interesting. If this were happening to you, you wouldn't even know it. Your brain would believe it's living its normal life. You'd think you're watching this video right now, sitting in your room, maybe sipping on some coffee or scrolling through TikTok. But in reality, you're just a brain in a vat. I know. It sounds totally bizarre, but what if this was the truth? What if you've been living in a fake world your whole life and have no idea? Everything you've ever touched, smelled, tasted, seen, could it all just be a computer simulation designed to make you believe you're experiencing reality? Let's pause and ask the big question. How would you even know? Think about it. Right now, everything you're seeing, hearing, and even thinking could just be electrical signals in your brain. Every experience you've ever had, could it all be fake? You've probably heard of The Matrix, right? It's a movie where humanity lives in a simulated world while their brains are connected to a computer. Sounds cool, but also kind of terrifying. But here's the real kicker. It's not just a Hollywood plot. It's an actual philosophical idea. The brain in a vat thought experiment was first proposed by philosopher Hilary Putnam in the 1980s. His point? If your brain is tricked into thinking it's living in the real world, how can you know you're not in the vat right now? Think about it this way. Every time you look around, everything you see could just be the computer's version of reality. What if all the people you interact with, the places you visit, even your dog, are all part of the simulation, part of the illusion? No one can tell you what's real. You think you know what's going on, but are you just living in a very advanced, very convincing illusion? Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds cool and all, but what's the point? Who would do this to me? Well, in the context of the thought experiment, it's less about some evil scientist putting your brain in a jar and more about what it teaches us about reality, perception, and knowledge. See, what this idea really explores is something called epistemology, the study of knowledge. How do we know what we know? How do we know our senses aren't lying to us? And if everything around us can be simulated, can we even trust our own experiences? But wait, let's throw another twist into the mix. You might think, okay, fine, maybe I'm a brain in a vat. But what about the world outside the vat? What's real then? Here's the thing. Even if you're in the vat, your mind would still create a version of reality based on the signals it's receiving. In other words, even if everything is a simulation, it would still feel real to you. Isn't that fascinating? What if, even in the vat, you could have the same feelings, thoughts, and experiences as you do now? The brain doesn't need to know it's not real. All it needs are the right signals. Your entire life, your memories, your feelings, are they truly yours? So, here's the million-dollar question. If you were a brain in a jar, How would you ever know the difference? Could the world around you be just an illusion? Or is everything you're experiencing right now as real as it gets? We may never have the answer, but it's fun to think about. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think we're living in a simulation? Or are we just brains in jars, fooling ourselves into thinking it's all real?